So we're back. This episode has been late, but I've just not had any free or any time off of work to do any of this stuff. It's been pretty much go to work and sleep for the last week or so. But finally, this is out, and I apologize for being late. I'll plan better in the future for this. So in this episode, we finally get into it. We finally get into the religion thing and finish things off. Give some recommendations and do the one of the hardest things for any of us to do, which is take a compliment. So, enjoy this.
At that point, I become, you know what? I think I'm still Catholic, but I don't believe in organized religion.
Yeah.
I think that starts devaluing a lot of aspects of belief, and I think it leads to very dangerous situations and systems.
Sure.
That have led to war, that have led to mistreatment of others, to devaluing lives, as a very powerful tool that has been constantly misused.
Yeah.
And then I went to what you were describing on Twitter. Fucking, this was like my metalhead days now. Fucking loved anti-religious shit. Not even just like Satanism, because I'd be that guy like Satanism just means you still believe in God, and like
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, man.
I remember that.
And I would make sure like, and now I just think it looks cool. But I would purposely get shit with like pentagrams and inverted crosses and be like, fuck that. I had a pentagram pendant at one point. Very fucking metalhead, like in that sense. A lot of jewelry, Satanistic stuff. I had that one where it's like a goat demon holding Jesus' severed head. I actually think I have it as a back patch because it's like a rare Bathory shirt, but it was being all torn to shreds.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I might as well use it for a back patch because it's not going to last any other way.
Yeah.
So that's what I did with that. Also did with a cool Vader shirt I had.
Well, it was Christians to the Lions and...
Yeah, I would wear shit that said Youth Against Christ and like Christians to the Lions from Behemoth. All this stuff.
They're a good band though.
Behemoth's amazing.
Yeah. I just like the music.
So that was my form of rebellion, I guess, was just going against that because I felt like Catholicism had such a grip on me growing up, and I guess that was my form of rebellion, right?
Okay.
Now, eventually, I would reach this conclusion that I believe now, which is I don't think religion is a bad thing. I don't believe in anything that falls underneath.
Yeah.
But I think religion is a much needed aspect of human existence in that people need to believe in something, create meaning in order to survive. Otherwise, a lot of people would fall, like, not necessarily into despair, but definitely may inflict like self-harm or in some way. And I think it helps out a lot of people in times of grief and despair, and can even bring people up. And it also teaches a lot of valuable lessons, like to be good to your neighbor or to anyone in general, to be a decent person. It can help establish like good morality lessons into each other that helps us coexist. Which is what I would take the Bible for, in my opinion. Now, like, that's what I think it was originally meant for. Until we kind of like, no, it's real, like,
make the thing here real now.
Don't kill in case you forgot.
In case you forget, don't kill, don't steal from other people.
No adultery. Stop it. I see you.
And like, and I would go, I think everyone is entitled to that as long as they're not inflicting harm on others or suppressing each other or bringing down each other through their own belief system.
No, absolutely.
A belief system that exists where it has to put others down in order to bring yourself up is inherently flawed and can lead to very dangerous consequences,
Yeah.
as we've seen multiple times.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the gist
Okay.
of all of that.
Okay. Yeah, I remember a lot of that. I was gonna say that when it comes to like the moral stuff, or like I think with the thing with like the commandments,
Uh-huh.
I guess one thing I always wondered about was like,
What happened to the 5 out of the 15?
yeah,
Moses dropped it on top of that volcano.
yeah. What was the other 5? Forget everything I said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
12. Fucking.
Eat, don't cook bacon naked.
There.
Snitches
10 commandments.
Mel Brooks. Wow.
Fucking genius. Like, oh god. Universal. Like,
Life of Brian's still one of my favorite movies.
It's.
whatever.
Um,
But the bits from, if anyone doesn't know, History of the World Part 1.
History of the World Part 1, yeah. Oh, no, I was going to say that I guess one thing I was questioning even as a kid was like, why is it that some people get more commandments or rights than others?
Yeah.
Because like I remember as a kid growing up, like the God-given rights, you know, the whole Carlin bit. Like, if they're all rights are given by God, then why do some countries have more than others?
Yeah.
And some people just have none at all.
Yeah.
Why is he suddenly selective? Then it's clearly it's just on us, and we choose what to enforce. I do agree, and like I mean, like a lot of people just there's obviously some given stuff, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess.
But it's weird how much you have to remind people, huh?
Yeah, it's that, and it's kind of like, I think, when you do things in spite, like that guy on Twitter did,
Yeah.
or when you go around putting Bibles in fiction sections of Barnes & Nobles, thinking it'll save, I don't know.
Yeah, like what point are you making? You're not...
That means it still has a grasp on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I came to the conclusion back in like late high school. That, no, I'm still being controlled by it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's when you come to realization. That's where I start realizing, like you said earlier, I am a product of my upbringing, whether I like it or not.
Yeah.
Just how much of that. I don't blame anyone for putting that stuff through me, because I think once I started getting away from it, my extended family just pretty much left me alone. So once that left, I realized that most of the grasp is my own affliction now, and I'm just making myself go through that.
Yeah.
And really, it's full circle. It's a pain Olympics.
It really
It's
is.
showing how look at what I can suffer.
That Catholic guilt, man, have to make yourself suffer in order to bring good things.
Yeah. Funny enough, when I wore a lot of shirts like that, I didn't really care.
Yeah, we get it, Nick. You were cool.
You were
cool. I'm kidding.
No, like, because I got approached by people who thought I was challenging them.
Oh,
like a lot of kids and teachers, and
except I was.
Yeah, but I wasn't. I would just get confused. Like, no, it's just a good band. Like, it's like, oh, you hate Christ? I don't hate. I never. Have you fucking met him? I never met him. Like, what the fuck you want me to say? Like, and I was swearing too. Like,
you had a filthy mouth.
Yeah.
filthy sailor.
But
I still have it, man.
We're swearwolves.
We're oh my god.
Werewolves, not swearwolves.
Yeah.
Sorry, but yeah, that's my thing. Mostly just getting approached because I just thought the music was good. I didn't think too hard about it.
Yeah.
With the religion thing, some extended family would be too intense.
Yeah.
And I was like, I gotta go, and I just leave the room.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah. Because I know it's not worth it at the end. Because they go, oh, Nick, you're so right.
I know. What are they gonna?
I mean, to the person I was at breakfast with, I had the exact same thought. Is there's multiple things I thought I should say, I would like to say.
Yeah.
You're a 48-year-old man saying that shit out loud.
Yeah.
What am I gonna do that has, wherever you're at in your life, I'm not gonna shift course.
No, that's locked and shut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
and it's been like scientifically proven that you can change old people's mind.
Mm-hmm.
It's just going to require a lot of time and energy.
Yeah.
And now you yourself have to ask, is it worth it?
Is that my fight to
yeah,
fight?
is that my fight to fight? Because you cannot win every fight you take, let alone fight every fight you want to fight.
And and like any fight, if you can think of anything better to do than what you're about to do, then do that thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Like,
you only have so much time. Why waste it on people just being angry?
Man. Amen. Not to be that.
No, I just realized. Here's a good example of how insufferable I was, like in high school, about this religious thing. I used to call Christians just crazy, like Christian folk. Like I would say it like that every time, or Christian nuts, or just very insulting, very putting people down. But again, it's all still like proof that it had a grasp.
It was shaping you, and it had shaped you. It was, for me, my youthful rebellion was very weird, because I think
yours wasn't to antagonize people.
Mine was it was to antagonize, but it was in a weird way. Because my family, by the time I was in middle school, had more or less kind of cemented themselves as like a part of this culture. I'll just say it that way. This particular culture that they were all about.
Yeah. And to be fair, I always wondered, like, how you ended up like celebrating both Hanukkah and Christmas.
I mean, that's kind of it. Like, my mom had always been and still is very much like down with the old ways, and she loved that because my grandfather, her father, went to like a rabbinical school, and he was like an old timey Jewish.
This is what she knows, Emily.
Mm-hmm. And then like you get this end of Clinton era business. Again, I'm trying not to take it there. Yeah. I'm trying not to take it there very hard. But there was this cultural aspect that my family was very much enamored with. They were very much gravitating towards. And to them, the political identity shifted the religious identity. Mm-hmm. And so like that's where they went with it. So when I was rebelling, I was like, well, fuck this. I'm going to go old school. And I was like I went to a traditionalist Jewish belief, and I converted to like old Judaism through most of middle school.
Oy.
And that was my way of like sticking it.
Yeah.
Like,
that's why you talk like an old Jewish man.
There is no Messiah.
Damn, you're like Bob Marley when he found out that his father was white.
Oh my god.
And he did everything possible so no one expects him.
Yeah.
He's biracial.
Yeah.
He was so ashamed of it.
Yeah, man. I mean, especially when you're like Rasta.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a thing. But like, we should talk about Rasta someday. But
I don't think it's our place.
Maybe it's not our place. Yeah.
We could try.
It's interesting. It's interesting. That's all.
Pick our fights.
But no, so
is that even a fight to pick? Should we have a decision?
So
all I'm saying is it's not our battle.
I agree. I did that for a while, and it was essentially by that point that I had been in a few situations with I mean, I don't know about you, but kind of multiple things come all at once. It's very rarely just, oh well, one thing happened and then everything was different.
Yeah. No, like I said, I have no idea what the singular thing was.
Yeah.
I just know a bunch of things started making sense to me.
Yeah. I remember definitely by the time I was like 13, 14, something like that, like the beginning of high school.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, oh, this isn't adding up.
I have to stop being an old Jew.
This isn't working out.
Yeah.
And also, like, just for my own opinion, like
I met Ian. He was still saying, "Oi,
Oi, gewalt."
It's gewalt.
Yeah, King.
Still call people Joshua,
Yeshua. Oh, I forgot. Yeah. I mean,
was that the revealing point? Maybe that was it.
Maybe that was it. And I said Yeshua.
Oh yeah, because immediately after that I went to Ian. That was like the most Jewish thing I ever heard you say.
I think that so all that was kind of compounding.
Yeah.
And I was also starting to feel like this is not representative of all Jewish individuals, but I was feeling like, at least where I was at with my belief, my personal belief, I was starting to get like, oh, there's a lot of weird stuff in here, man.
Yeah.
There's a lot of eerie kind of because
the afterlife's inside of a giant.
Yes. Or, well, I mean, like one part,
like old Hebrew, but like
one other part of like certain parts of Judaism, like start to talk about like how important it is for the temple to come back, and all that stuff, and like born again Christians are also really into that kind of thing. So there's a parallelism, but like when I started to be like, is this like creepy? Is this like creepy?
Yeah.
Because I started to think about like the whole thing is like, well, the temple comes back and we rebuild it, and then we make sure that we have a pure Israel with only the Jews. Yeah. And it's like
the moment you hear pure,
yeah,
yeah,
like,
race war,
right? And I was like, oh no,
yeah.
How did we have that happen to us and then want a pure country? How did we do the thing?
How did it? Did we just forget?
We promised not to.
Did it come back to bite us? I don't know.
So I mean, I think that was a big part of it. One thing I definitely remember, and then I went through the same thing as you. Honestly, is I think that also you feel like I felt like a lot of resentment about the idea of there was another way.
Yeah.
And I was just doing all this bullshit.
Yeah. You get mad at how much time you gave to it, like.
Yeah, and how much energy you've given to it as well. It's to this, and then you realize how that is a road that leads nowhere.
Yeah.
It is absolutely something that is purely self-destructive. Yeah. It is drinking poison and waiting for other people to get hurt.
Like I said, that's still it having a grasp on you.
Yeah.
Like, you're still a slave to that, set.
And I think that at some point, what was the point when I think there was one conversation that I just now came to my mind that I'll mention, where I thought like, oh, I'm wasting my time.
Yeah.
I was, a salty-mouthed, sarcastic, so-and-so. And I just thought, like, for my grandparents both, I just wanted so badly to show them, like, what you're saying is not just offensive, it's just, like, ridiculous. Mm-hmm. And so I kept thinking, like, if I go beyond matching you, if I yes and you, you have to hear how ridiculous the shit that's going to come out of my mouth is.
But you're just feeding into it.
I realized that I'm making it fucking worse, man. And I think it was like a conversation. It was a conversation. Oh God, it's so horrible. It was a conversation I had with them about the First Lady's fitness program.
Okay.
Like Michelle Obama was really.
Give me 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she was like really into promoting outdoor activity, healthy eating.
Was the meal plan too, or?
Yeah, it was all this sort of thing, and like my family had been kind of slacking on it and dumping on it, and I was like, I know what you mean. Like, Jesus, if this isn't America where we can't eat ourselves to death, what is freedom? And they said, no, yeah. It is. It's an American's right to kill yourself if you want to, by eating yourself sick. Like, it's like, oh shit. this is
Mission-
is a fucking dead end. Like there's
Mission failed.
I can't escalate that. I can't fucking escalate that. This is oh no.
You made him stronger.
And I just realized like, oh, you're not only spinning your wheels doing nothing, but you're probably just making it worse.
Yeah.
Playing for an audience that's not reading.
You're giving them ideas.
Yeah, exactly. And like, so I think that was a point where I was like, oh, maybe it's time to rethink things. And so yeah, I also I mean more or less what you said, man. Like I don't need to repeat the whole thing, but yeah, I think that belief is an important part of people's individual lives. And it just the only thing that makes me sick about it is when you hear about people's beliefs hurting people.
Hurting others.
But I mean, like, and that's why it's so fucking obnoxious when I'm thinking of particularly of that guy down at Venice Beach, fucking Bill Maher.
Okay.
I find him exasperating.
Yeah.
Exasperating.
Because he was just a comedian, then got a platform.
Yeah.
And then I think at one point he forgot that he was a comedian.
I mean, he's not been fucking funny, man.
Yeah.
And I just feel like, I mean, he's not alone, but he is endemic of this thing. And I just thought of him because I went to Venice not that long ago, and they pulled audience members there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Just like someone believing in something that you don't is not the end of the argument that it is bad, therefore.
Yeah.
And like someone's auntie, someone's abuela, someone's whatever, believing in the resurrection is not the same thing as priests covering up a scandal. And those two things are different.
They are very different.
They're very, very different. And
yeah, I was like super religious too when it was coming out.
Right?
I mean, guess they dodged a bullet there. But
thank God. But like, and yeah, you don't want to lionize and you don't want to advocate for an organization that's going to do something like that.
Sorry, no, the whole molestation thing was actually I just realized a big turning point. For my whole hatred with organization.
Jesus.
Organized religion.
It's hard to like someone who does that. Yeah.
Because it was me going, what the fuck are you people feeding into? Like, I'm like 14 or 15 at the time.
I'm prime target.
Yeah.
But like, I don't like you. It is laughable and ridiculous to say, oh, this individual person is her her belief system is the reason that those children were abused, is the reason that I don't know, the fucking U.S. started a war wherever. Like, it is such a simplistic view.
It really is.
Of something so much more complex than just, I don't think God is real and therefore you believing in it means
you're a child molester.
Exactly. Yeah. Or that you condone it, or that whatever.
Because there was that period where you call any Catholic a child molester. So.
Or the exactly. And that's so stupid.
Yeah.
As to be
It doesn't actually fix anything either.
It doesn't help anything.
Just supports your ego.
It really is just a way for you to say I'm better. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so like and then you of course like in those exact same years you saw a lot of people like punching down on Muslim people because of X, Y, and Z. And even the ones who aren't saying you're Muslim, therefore a terrorist, there were people who were saying you're Muslim, therefore you're a misogynist. Yeah. You're Muslim.
Your beliefs,
Therefore, because I'm going to say you by association must condone the worst extreme that I can conceive of. It's stupid. Is Valuable point. Sure, that like there are churches out there who should be probably using the wealth they experience to help more people. Yeah, that's a valid point.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's problems in the system for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's just to say those who follow
are inherently like advocating for that.
Yeah, simply solely of the belief, but then even then, like you said, it comes down to context. Because you haven't even asked them personally what they view it as.
Yeah.
Yeah, because not everyone sees the same. Not everyone sees the same, reads the same book, and understands the same things. You know.
No, and I mean, I could say this about if I might. I promise we'll rein it in and close this off. But I mean, I would say that the same as. I think many people are like would agree that there are aspects of, let's say, the American justice system that have shortcomings, and that need to be re-examined. You do not say, well, you know what, you pay taxes, so you're in favor of the worst thing I can conceive the American government doing. That does not track as something logical to say. That I feel like that's comparable.
Yeah.
Because you are a part of this system that gives you order and guidance. It's a little bit different with the government, but you know, because you are part of this system or this group or this order that gives your life this comfort, this guidance, that does not give anyone the right to say that you are therefore comparable or in cahoots or condone the worst aspect conceivable related to it.
Yeah. And when in fact most of us are trying to fight it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Fight against. No, yeah. It's so honestly, that's probably where like, because now I like think about it too. It's probably where like a lot of my anti-authority things fall off, because I very much have a problem with it. I do not do well being told what to do.
And I have been reprimanded.
I do very. I'll do mostly like. I'll always be friendly as long as you're asking me.
Yeah.
As long as I have an option. The moment I feel like I don't, oh man, it's like it's like a switch, man. It's just something in my brain flips.
Yeah.
Where I go, oh fuck you. Like now I'm gonna do things in spite of you.
Just watch.
Yeah. It was part of the. I remember a friend asking me, "Did you ever like as a kid want to be a cop?" And I went, "No." And then he went, "Really? Like never?" And I went, "Yeah. I think even as a kid, I had problems with authority.
Being told,
being told not to."
Yeah.
There's always this thing inside. Like even now, like as an adult, where I can kind of hide shit and repress shit I'm feeling. There's a switch. Like I do not do well with authority. Like
there is remarkable. Definitely when I was young.
Yeah.
But there was a remarkable wide threshold for what I would do despite someone.
Oh yeah. Because it's going back to that thing. I've now the belief I hate when people put themselves on pedestals above others. I think it's one of the most dangerous things any human being can do.
Yeah.
So inherently I view everyone as pretty much equal.
Yeah. Like
job title to me does not dictate shit. Your actions to each other and as people judge your character, which I think it should, not your accomplishments.
Yeah.
So like you're like, but that's the president. I'm like, yeah, he's a guy. He's supposed to be.
Yeah.
He's a human being. Like or.
Yeah, he didn't like magically become.
Yeah.
Better.
Yeah. Or even
you
like
can't.
Presidents you love. So like, even if it was Obama, if it was like Super 4.
Yeah.
If he had, and like to me, no, he's still a guy. Like.
And he fucked up, and we were aware.
Yeah.
Of the shortcomings that exist. Yeah.
Because you can't really... Yeah, I was going to say that, putting you on pedestals, because it's like...
It's the most dangerous thing. Like...
Yeah. It's also like in spite. You see a lot. It's like, oh...
Yeah.
Like at least it's not as bad as so-and-so's actions.
What a pointless thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, he's not him.
Right.
Yeah.
Or she's not she's not her. And like, I don't know... I don't understand. I guess I would say I just don't understand why you would blame person A for what person B did.
Right, exactly.
That's why, to sidetrack a bit, I don't understand the whole guilt thing about like you feel guilty of what someone your ancestors did.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you never met them and they don't know you, so I don't understand why you would feel guilty for their actions if you're living your life. Like, they lived their life and made their choices, but you're making your own choices, and you should take responsibility, like Chris said, for your own actions.
Yeah, but I also think that leads to, if what your ancestors did, if you're reaping the benefits, and those benefits happen to be at the downplay of others, and you're not doing anything to make sure that no one's being repressed or suffering because of your benefits, I think that's choosing inaction to still live that good life at the expense of others.
Like, there's definitely a difference between, like, let's say, if you are, let's say, an ostentatiously wealthy person living in, let's say, a Dixie state. I don't care which one. Like, there's a chance that there was some kind of exchange that happened that got your family where you are.
Mm-hmm.
And that's different than this one anecdote I have to share, because it's very funny.
You promise it's very funny?
Yeah, I think I swear. Well,
I swear.
There was like a LA has an Irish fair.
Yeah.
And this girl, one of my friends from high school, went with me, and she
went with you. So wait, you were the one going to?
I went with her.
Oh, okay.
I went with her.
I was like, why are you planning to go? Okay.
Always sounds great.
And
I'm sorry.
She was told by someone, your ancestors' clan slaughtered my people in a battle in like 1412.
Yeah.
Man, like, you need to move on past that shit. Like, absolutely. That's I mean, but that's also a question of severity, intensity,
that's
recency.
Everything is situational.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
It's like the problem with, again, absolutes. It ignores situations.
Yeah.
So.
But, like, so in that situation, absolutely, like, that's some dumb shit. Like, yeah.
As long as you're a good person now is, like, always my thing.
Yeah.
As long as you're trying to, like, live your life.
Yeah.
And not be a piece of shit to people.
Yeah. Did I tell you when a friend of mine's professor met his grandfather, his great grandfather, who was second in command of the clan at the time?
Wow.
Jesus, at the time?
At the time, yeah. Apparently, what happened? So, professor, his father's from the South,
right?
Both the professor and his biological father are both they're both black. But the professor's father was adopted by two people who wanted to leave the South and go and live in California. And the reason was that the professor's father found out that the people who adopted him were trying to escape their family, who were in the clan, who were second and first in command.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So
that's a fucking reason.
Yeah. So the professor didn't find out until the week before my friend told me the story.
Yeah.
Where he received a photograph framed from his father of essentially his professor's father at 5 years old in the 50s.
Yeah.
Small child with a tall man in as a grand dragon.
Jesus.
So the green row, the green and red row.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And then he asked, what is this? And he said,
the fuck
he
is
found
this?
What the fuck is this?
Yeah, and the father said,
He said, you know.
You know.
He said, essentially he found his adopted parents, the clan member.
Oh my god.
He found out about the whole spiel, so he said, I don't agree with this, but I at least want to take a picture of my grandchild. So he took a picture, and then that's like on the counter forever.
Wow.
It's this little small dark child with a giant green hooded man.
That's so fucking. Oh my god.
That's wild.
So, this is I don't want to take us too far away, but this is this. one of the people who made a mistake of working for Vice did a show, and this English guy.
Yeah, we all know the opinion that anything for Vice really like.
Yeah, it's just like it's a crapshoot.
Because it's proven it's pretty like. Is it worth the risk anymore? Is my thing.
My favorite are the interviews. So you're saying it's like the Dr. Phil. It's the Dr. Phil shit. So you're saying you hear voices.
Mm-hmm. Can you go explain? And so this
take a rip of this.
Take a rip of this crackhead.
And so this dude is doing a documentary.
Yeah.
Where he is interviewing like active Klans members presently, and he is like a large half black, half Indian Britishman.
Yeah.
So he's blending in great, and but he has this very strange thing. So he's following one guy in particular, and interviewing him about how his kind of development into white supremacy. And he's got a wife, got 2 kids, and then he's got 2 two kids from another relationship.
Yeah.
Where the mother passed away.
Mm-hmm.
And those children were with a Mexican woman.
Mm.
And it's very strange. Because the guy insistently is like saying all the things that you say when you wear the robes. But then at the same time being like, oh no, I love all my children intensely. I love all 4 of my children. They are my children. And you have that weird like moment wherein he actually like kind of holds him accountable to like but you understand how the fundamental idea of your belief system is that your children are a mistake. That the mixing of races is like wrong and that they are a problem for what you see as the future.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah. And he's like, and like, so, but that does, and he's like, so like, you get where I'm coming from. He's like, yeah, but I like my kids.
Yeah.
And that's
there you go.
Yeah.
As long as it benefits me, I'll choose and pick what believes.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of that. It can, you know, the blues player who converts, who's made his life converting a Klansman.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He had a TED Talk actually.
Okay.
And it was 2 weeks after the Charlottesville incident.
Mm-hmm.
And he basically explained about when he met the first one he converted, and then he explained about how a lot of it came from refusal to talk, refusal to understand. And he always asked the question, how can you hate me if you do not know me? Mm-hmm. So it was a famous news story where he was at the rallies, and the famous picture of him cross-armed and the burning cross, the sick-ass metal cover. And then he explains that as long as if you keep the conversation going and at least start having a dialogue, because you are not fighting. When you are talking, you are not fighting. When it is silent and you don't understand, it creates fear, and fear turns to anger. Mm-hmm. So, and that's why he showed the video in 1980 of the second in command in Maine shaking his hand and saying, "I'll listen to this man because at least he respects me enough to listen to what I have to say." Mm-hmm. And then after the video cuts, he pulls out a big drawer, opens it, and he shows the exact same green robe that the man wore in the video, and he said, my friend gave me this, and he said that he has left the Klan as a month ago.
Wow.
Yeah, and he says like he has like closets of all the robes of people who either converted after conversation or people who converted themselves away from the Klan.
That's fantastic.
Just from talking to him. So that's kind of where a lot of it comes from.
What a long and strange journey this has been,
isn't it?
It's been a lot.
Yeah. So I wrote in my high school year, but
yeah.
So let's let's end this two ways. First, quick recommendation of any further reading on mental health, or things that relate to mental health wise, and we feel like are good pieces of media.
Okay.
To be addressing those topics.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give a go ahead, and it's a very specific example, but I think would help out with understanding situations that are very pertinent to today. Mm-hmm. And it's the graphic novel Sabrina by, is it Mark Danzo? Is his name, or
Sabrina? Which one's Sabrina? I'm sorry.
Who did Beverly?
Oh, my bad.
Beverly, yeah.
Mark Danzo.
Mark Danzo. I've given my review of Beverly before and how much I loved it. This was his follow-up book. Mm. It very much deals with what happens to the people surrounding tragedies that happen. Yeah. Especially in this day and age with social media and all that stuff, and the conspiracy theories that follow. Mm-hmm. Mm. It's a fantastic look into that and the effects it can have on each other.
Oh, yeah.
That are not only immediate, but as well as everlasting. Mm. So I'd like to give that one a big shout out. It's fantastic.
A piece of media I could recommend would probably be...
and I'll probably post links to wherever you can find them, like, below this.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. I would... one great piece of reading I would recommend is... John Ronson's book called The Psychopath Test.
Okay.
Which kind of the flashy part of it kind of promises to show how psychopathy thrives in today's world, but also kind of goes into the idea of our want to categorize so much that we may actually in some ways have just turned being a person into a clinical experience. I think I wanted to mention this briefly that at the top of the first episode I talked a little bit about what I'm going through and how I deal with it. And I briefly mentioned, I think I'd been talking to this therapist that I know, not in a professional clinical setting, but as just a friend, and I said something to the effect of, just sometimes I have vague sense that everything's going wrong, and that and I'm just terrified, and I feel like there's nothing I can do. And I said, do you think that's indicative of anything? And he said, just being a person. So I'd definitely recommend The Psychopath Test by John Ronson.
I gotta say, doesn't it help to realize how ridiculous a lot of your own
God.
Thoughts are?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like one of the greatest. I think that's what comedy helps with, too.
Yeah.
Like, just how ridiculous some of these awful thoughts are.
What about you,
man? Yeah. I said it so many times on these podcasts now, but I'll keep saying it again. Goodnight Pun Pun by Inio Asano is still, even if you're someone who's not into the themes or kind of subject matter it goes to, I would say it's still probably the best depiction I've seen of someone someone at an early age developing a disorder and family history, and showing the thought process of people who have it in their young adult lives, and how they eventually come to their own conclusions. That's really all I can say about it without spoiling any details, but it's the best depiction of mental illness I've seen.
Oh yeah, as well as like how conflicting our thoughts are versus our actions.
Yeah,
and words. Okay, and let's end this with the really hard part, because we've all said we're very bad at taking compliments, but it's a good way to validate each other, and it does help. Okay. We have to all say one nice thing about each other.
Okay.
I'll begin, because I am making this request.
Christ.
Nick, you're a fantastic musician. No matter what, like, even if... How do I put that? I don't know. Everything you make is great, dude. Like, you put the hard work into it.
No, thank you.
And I think as a person, you're still very kind and understanding to each other, to other people. And whether, I don't know if that's a product of maybe experiences you've gone through, it maybe is, but I think to your core you are a good person who this world very much needs.
Oh, thank you.
No problem.
Appreciate it.
Ian.
Wow.
I did this just so I could
I can say fuck you.
Freaking wow.
Yeah.
Why? I'm just kidding.
Ian, you're one of my best friends, man. Like, what is you're one of the funniest people I know, and it's a pleasure and a joy every time I talk to you. It's so much fucking fun. Like, it really is. I look forward to each and every conversation. Yeah, with you. No matter how stupid and ridiculous it is. Especially if it's stupid and ridiculous. So those are two.
Okay, great. You want me to...
Oh, I thought we were doing this.
Okay,
but if you feel better doing this. Sorry, I did a clock motion, clockwise and counterclockwise.
Well, for Nick, I would say like one of your strongest qualities is your.
Wait, for Nick, because you're looking at me.
I'm so sorry. I'm really tired, man.
No, it's still effective.
Chris.
Now, Ian looked at me for this.
That's why it's funny. I'd say that one of your strongest qualities is your determination as a person, that you actually have an amazing amount of follow through that I don't see. I feel like that plenty of people talk about doing things, and you are actually really good about saying and then doing. And few people do that, honestly. Far too many people have like throwaway thoughts that end up going nowhere, but you actually, cook on them, and that takes a lot of internal discipline that I don't possess. So. That's honestly something that I'd like some more of in myself. And
thanks, man.
Yeah. Hey, man, you're really funny.
Thank you.
You're like
really?
Yeah, he gets funny.
Sorry.
Well, it's subjective, and clearly he's right.
He's right.
I don't even remember what it was that you said to me today that hurt so much it was funny, but fuck, it was really the moment I walked through your fucking door, you made me laugh, man.
Oh, thank you.
You're really funny. You're cool.
Well, I'm just saying, Nick, you're a character.
Oh, what a card. Oh, man.
Yeah. You could say quick-witted.
I could say that. Yeah, man. You've got a sharp repartee. Yeah.
Oh, really? Thank you.
Yeah, for sure, man.
I appreciate it. Okay. I guess I'll go this way.
Okay.
It's counterclockwise to me, so I'm going Ian.
They
then
don't
Chris.
fucking know the position.
Chris, podcast,
now they
audio.
can picture the room.
Yeah.
That's why we say names.
It's like they're here now. Anyway. No, I'll say for Ian, ever since I first met you, I've always looked up to, it blew me away how much knowledge you guys had, both of you.
Thanks.
Because I grew up reading a lot of comic books, and I was honestly kind of jealous. I read so many comic books and manga off the walls in bookstores, and ever since I was a kid, I was kind of jealous how much you guys would talk about how much you guys read Stephen King or these long, big novel series. Yeah. And I was like, man, they read more than me, and they're clearly smarter than me. So that was that's where my mind was. So, I've always been impressed by your guys' knowledge, and then also how much you guys clearly want to improve. It's very rare for people to take a step back and try to figure out where they went wrong and trying to be better. So I want to say I really appreciate that. I always thought that was cool.
Thanks, man.
I really appreciate that.
Yeah. And so for Chris, same thing like Ian said. It's very rare to meet people who do what they say and say what they're gonna do. it's very cool that we get to do all this because you wanted to, and it's a very rare thing to do what we want because we again like all the excuses, like all the things in our head and stuff in our lives, and I guess that's all I'll say. I just really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Really nice, man.
Really nice.
Yeah.
All right, now we have to all insult each other.
All right.
You're not funny.
I'm just funny.
Listen, I know I'm not funny. I don't need you to remind me. Okay?
Look up here, Ian. Yeah. Respect my mind.
I'm more than just a body.
This was our last show.
Oh, yeah.
Because I guess we're never going to speak to each other.
Never gonna speak to each other again.
See, this is way more fun.
Okay, it's
man.
been a long night.
It has been.
For you, it's probably been like 30 minutes listening or something.
Oh my god.
We just want to say goodnight, and hey, we're very appreciative that you listen to this bullshit.
So much.
Yeah,
guys.
thanks for putting up
Listen,
with us.
you're not like as alone as you think you are with any of that stuff. There's always someone out there who can understand your perception, or that at least can listen to you and validate you as a person.
Yeah.
Yeah, like at the very least, we can say that we are very happy you exist and that you listen to us.
Same.
Yeah, good night.
Good night, everybody.
Night.
Well, finally got through it. And yeah, like we said in the episode, we're really grateful that you chose to listen to all this. It was something me and Ian had discussed. Didn't know if we were going to quite go through with it, but we think it worked out really well. And hopefully it worked out well for you guys. You guys enjoyed it. Everyone enjoyed it or gleaned something from it. I'll be honest, what I was going to do in this outro, what I was planning to do was going to kind of go deep into how my last week has been, so because I've just not been in a good mindset. But I feel like the way the podcast ends, I kind of want to keep writing that just kind of nice ending, that funny, the humor of it. So I'm gonna play a song, and it's from one of my favorite video games of all time, Katamari, and it's pretty it's not my favorite out of the soundtrack in that it's very much on like the pop end. It's still great, but when it became one of my favorites is the story behind it, which would take a long time to explain. So if any of you have any time to look it up, please, it's a wonderfully beautiful story behind this next song. And hey, take care of yourself, because we sure as hell like you.
Bye.